Hi, I'm Kent Murdoch, and I was just playing a little bit of a gospel-type improv. And what I'd like to talk about a little bit is how I learned to play what little I can play in jazz. I'm a beginner, but I've been playing for a few years now, and I've been working on it. And I started out, playing a little bit of blues, and then I went to the Abrasol modal approach. And the problem with those approaches with me is they didn't really lead anywhere for me. I just couldn't get going. I think there's some good ideas there, but what I ended up doing was going back to gospel type sounds and using a G pentatonic scale, or the pentatonic, and that's what I was just playing there, just to show you how to get kind of a jazzy sound with a real major scale. Actually, the G pentatonic scale, G, A, B, D, E, G, is really a chord. It's a 6/9 chord. And it has a really nice sound to it. And we can jazz it up a lot. For instance, you can use a leading tone. Instead of playing an A, you can play G sharp A. Or instead of playing just a G, G sharp, F sharp G. And B. In fact, just practicing those leading tone approach tones, you can get a nice little lick there, and then you can jazz up the pentatonic. See, I'm just putting in the approach tone a half step below the notes in the scale, and it starts to make it sound jazzy. Also, within this scale, there are 3 whole tones, and they are between G and A and B, and D and E, and you can fill those in. For instance, you can, instead of playing G to A, you can go G, G sharp A, or A to B, same thing. Instead of A, B, you can play A, A sharp B, and same with D to E. And that way you can get this kind of you can fill in that part of the scale. And even just practicing that sounds like a lick in itself. And it really jazzes it up quite a lot. And part of the reason is because some of those are blue notes in there. The blue notes of the A sharp or B flat, and the F, I didn't have an F natural in there, but I did have a flat 5 in there, and the D sharp or E flat. That D sharp is a blue note. So you can jazz up the scale a lot with that. See, it sounds a lot nicer, doesn't it, when you just add a few little chromatics in there. Now, also in this scale is our 2 minor thirds, B to D and E to G. You can fill those in. For instead of B, that's B. Here's B. You can fill them in with half steps: B, C, C sharp, D. Sorry. Sounds kind of coming down to. And also E to G is, instead of going, that's E to G, right? Here's E, F, F sharp, G. And going backwards. So you can use those to fill in. And what you'll end up with is using all 12 notes. And you might say, well, why didn't we start out with the chromatic scale in the first place? Well, the thing about learning them in this manner is you're thinking of the 6/9 scale, those 5 notes, as target notes. And when you run these little chromatic figures, you'll always end up on a target note, Messed it up there at the end, but there you can hear what I'm saying. In other words, I'm using all 12 notes in this, but I'm always ending up on these target notes, so it always sounds like the the 6/9 scale no matter what I do. Now that's just the G6/9 scale. If I change to a G chord, I'd use the C. I mean, sorry, if I change to a C chord, I'd use the C6/9. G there. Now to C. So you can do any major chord you can use this 6/9 scale with and fill it in. Now what you should really learn is you really need to learn the major pentatonics or the 6/9 scales in F, C, G, D, and A. Those are critical. You might say, why not learn them in all keys? Well, if you got the time, do it. I mean, a lot of people say you learn everything in all keys every time you learn something. The problem with that is that it can get very discouraging. If you're young and are just dedicated and all that, yes, go ahead and do it that way. But with me, I don't have a lot of time, and I want to play a lot. I want to play a lot from the beginning. I have limited amount of patience, and I really want to start sounding good. So I learn the things that I have to learn, and then I work on everything else. I work on all 12 keys and all that kind of thing. And I intend, if I have the time, to eventually do it in all keys. Now, as far as major scales go, you do the same ones that you did in the 6/9, but you add E and B. So you're going to play. You should learn F, C, G, D, A, E, and B major scales. Those are the critical ones to play just about any jazz tune. And also in 7th chord arpeggios, you should learn C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp. And I'll write those in the information on the video. But those are the ones that you should learn, work on at this time. Don't work on everything. Get some things down very solidly. I'll do another video and I'll show you how to handle dominant chords. Okay.